Hey guys, it's Nailbiter, and in this video I've got another gameplay from Sen Crossing, another round of Conquest on Sen Crossing, and I know I've posted quite a few out of like I think 3 or 4 videos that I have posted from Battlefield 3. I think like 2 or 3 of them have been from Sen Crossing, so after this video, or this commentary, I'll try to post some different map gameplay, just because I'm sure you guys don't want to see the same map for all my commentaries. So, anyways, I thought I could also talk a little bit about some tactics that I use, or I could talk a little bit more specifically about this map, because now that the game's been out for I don't know, what is it now, 3 weeks or so, I've gotten to know the maps pretty well, so I think I can give you guys a better idea of how to approach each map, and so I'll do that a little bit for this map, since I haven't talked about any tactics for this map at all yet in the gameplays that I have posted on this map. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to quickly mention about this video is you'll see a few times where the clip just kind of cuts out, and I tried to kind of edit this video so it was a little bit shorter. I think it ends up being around 9 minutes, which is, I think that's a pretty good length for a commentary. I think anything beyond 10 minutes, just from personal experience, I think anything beyond 10 minutes gets to be a little long. So if I can keep my videos to around 8 to 9 minutes, that's what I'm gonna do. So there may be a couple of kind of abrupt switches and clips, but you're not gonna be missing anything really entertaining or crucial to the round. It's just kind of stuff where I'm running from place to place or just capturing a flag, and there's nothing going on. So I tried to keep the gameplay that you guys do see to the more interesting parts of the round. So anyways, the main thing that I wanted to talk about in this video was class setups, because now that the game's been out for, I think it's at least 3 weeks now, over 3 weeks, and I play the game a fair amount, so I've gotten to know most of the guns pretty well, or I have a pretty good sense of, at least for the assault class. That's what I've been playing the most, as I mentioned, I think in one of my previous videos. So I've gotten to know most of those assault rifles well. I've tried them all out and messed around with some of the scopes and stuff, and so I wanted to talk a little bit in this video about my favorite class setup. It's kind of my go-to class setup if my team needs the extra push or whatever. And I think that's important for everybody to have, just that one class that they're comfortable with. And I should have had that guy. I was kind of pissed off when I didn't pick him off, and he was just hiding in that corner, and I just happened to not check that, and I tossed the health pack, and that was basically it. But anyways, like I was saying, I think it's important that people have a class that they're comfortable with and using, because you always want to be able to, if you're not having a good game or whatever, you want to be able to switch to something that you're comfortable with and the gun well. And so anyways, the class that I'm using in this game, which is, I would say, my go-to class, I think it's the class that I've probably used the most and found the most success with, and that's I'm using the M16A3 assault rifle, and I've got the holographic sight on it. And it's kind of funny, actually, because the M16, I actually, when I first started playing this game, and that was the default assault rifle for the US Marines team, I actually really hated this assault rifle. I didn't like the iron sights that much, and it felt like there was too much recoil, I guess, to the gun. I just didn't really like it at all. But I started messing around with it a little more after I unlocked those first couple of assault rifles, and I actually found this setup which I really like now. I think, especially with the holographic sight in particular, I think that sight works well, especially for my gameplay style, because generally speaking, I don't like the scopes that give you, or that are more meant for long range, because I like to rush around a lot and run and play pretty aggressively. So a lot of the encounters that I have are going to be more close range, and I found that with the holographic sight, it has that sort of the right mix between, like, it doesn't mess me up at close range situations, but it also does give me better accuracy in long distance encounters. And I also like the holographic sight because it's got the sort of red dot in the middle. It's similar to the red dot sight. I don't like the ACOG, where it's just the two lines that meet at the middle. I like having the red. If I am using a scope, I like having like a red dot in the middle. So you'll probably see me either using the red dot sight or the holographic sight, like I am using on this class, and probably not any of the other sights. So that's what I found the most success with. I think it does depend on your playstyle a little bit, which scope that you go with. Although, I mean, honestly, I don't really have too much problem with most of the iron sights just in general of the assault rifles. I'd be fine just using the iron sights. So definitely with most of the assault rifles, except maybe for the AN-94, along with this gun, the M16. Those are probably the only two that I would use a scope on. The AN-94, I think in general, just isn't a great gun, but I won't talk too much about that in this commentary. But anyways, the attachments that I'm using in the M16 are just the heavy barrel and the foregrip, which those just reduce they just reduce recoil, and that's what I use on all my assault rifles. I haven't really tried anything out with like the suppressor or anything, and I think the flashlight and laser sight are just kind of annoying, so I don't use those either. I just stick with the heavy barrel and foregrip, which are, I think those are unlocks that you get pretty early on if you're using an assault rifle. It's like 20 or 30 kills for each, so it doesn't take long to get to this setup for any of the assault rifles. And I mean, I should say that most of these assault rifles are pretty comparable, and you know, I think that is the nice thing about Battlefield is you could really use any of these guns and have success with a lot of them, which. So, I mean, while this is the one that I've used the most and I kind of like the most, I've had a lot of fun with all of the assault rifles. So, that's my favorite class setup, and if you haven't tried out the M16, I definitely would give it a second chance. I didn't like it at all the first time I used it, but I actually, now it's become my favorite weapon to use. So, anyways, for the last couple minutes of this commentary, I'll just talk a little bit about the map Sen Crossing, which I haven't talked too much about in the other commentaries that I've done for this map. And I guess the reason that I've posted so many gameplays of this already is because it's got the four flags on it, even in Conquest Small, which I did mention I think once, but most of the smaller Conquest maps are going to only have 3 flags to capture, which can sometimes make the map just feel a little more crowded or a little more linear, I guess. And the nice thing about this map is that that's definitely not the case. There's almost always a way to flank on this map, and so, I mean, I kind of cut out some of the points where I do a lot of flanking, but it's definitely a really good map for flanking, and sort of there's always a way to go around the enemy, which I really do like. I think that just makes the gameplay flow better. The one thing you do have to be careful about in this map, and I think you saw me mention earlier how I got killed by a guy in one of those buildings, but there are a lot of those little apartments with multiple stories, and you're gonna often find people camping in those buildings. So if you're ever checking those, you definitely want to pay attention, because people like to sit up in those and just sort of stare out windows and camp a lot. But overall, I've had a lot of fun playing this map. You know, I'll try to post some different gameplays and in the future from some of the other maps. But anyways, this gameplay is almost done. Just finish up with a nice little juke of these two guys over here. You'll see me pretend to go for the revive and fake these guys out. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it useful and interesting, and definitely make sure to rate and comment on the video, and subscribe to me for more Battlefield 3 gameplay, and I'll see you guys later.